Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm OP, and in today's episode we'll be going over some of the best highlights from all of the LCK Spring matchups of the day. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the action.
Actually taking a lot of damage. There's the flash and first blood for Closer.
Really strong performance, and again, he's...
Alright, another rocket jump. This time it's going to be counteracted though, and there's that paranoia we were asking for. There's a shattering strike though, crash down from Executors. He's looking to try and get this one done. Twisted Advance comes in, but the knock-up is so beautiful, and Yahoo, he's still alive! We're emoting, we're throwing out buttons.
So,
he's threatening with it.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to criticize. He's been having a good laning phase, but...
Okay. Well, I mean, as soon as the first one comes out, Sponge just wants to keep...
Yeah, I guess maybe concerned about the lack of ultimates they had, so they take the kill, but they end up losing the neutral objective. It's 2 minutes before both the dragon spawn, so if you can find a window...
Alright, there's the shockwave. It's going to pull both of them in. Teddy just explodes the Varus, and that's the double kill out of nowhere.
Yeah, beautiful play. Perfect timing for as well. DRX, not only do they get the kill, not only do they get mid-tower, but they take Henna's flash and all those ults. FearX out of the dragon area, but they're just going to let the Herald hit and Enclave get baited. Look at the TP coming in though from Rascal.
Yeah. Nature's Grasp just going to try and lock down the dragon. That will be successful. And now DRX, they have inside track. That should be an inner turret going over to them. And yes, it's all well and good to grab yourself a soul point, but it's only Ocean. Flash available just down and Ignite, and he's going to be absolutely fine with this whole situation. Cute little ward there, making sure FearX has that.
When you're up position, you can see now the ult back up for Sponge, and they are fishing.
All right, there's the grand entrance. There's the shockwave once again. The Tristana just explodes, and now Willer is on the run, tries to get back to his inner turret, and he will succeed at least for the moment. But pushing away the Maokai, creating all this space, 50-50, and can DRX find themselves a turn? First Harpoon, going to go wide towards this Renekton as he's building up the rage. There's the flash, Magnus Storm. Equalizer is not fantastic though, as Teddy is untouched. And now Execute just taking burst fire after burst fire. DRX going down too low to stay on this Baron though. And it's only Teddy with much of a health bar to speak of, as Rascal is going to get closed in on, but man, he's surviving for a long time. Is still going to fall down, but Willa to grab that positional advantage. So DRX just not able to really find too much of an opportunity here. So there is a move over as Pleta on that flank angle. There is so much vision for DRX in the enemy jungle. And there is the paranoia to make sure they have no idea what this health bar looks like. In they go. Shockwave is not going to find too much as Willa flashes his way out. Rascal looks for that backline, but Pleta is just going to explode. And DRX, they may have overstepped. There is the Harpoon to clear it out from Clear. And now Closer has found the opportunity. He's diving on top of the Zeri. She gets one, but that's going to be it. And FearX, they should be able to grab the Baron themselves.
They absolutely. And now, what is DRX supposed to do? They've lost their main form of engage. 2 massive ults burned for no impact, and they just get cleaned up. Clear is doing so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, Yahoo's also doing a lot of damage. You saw that dissonance onto 2 members as another paranoia comes down into this mid lane, but there's a great Magnus Storm from Execute. Nature's Grasp over the top as well, as now Henna has found Pleta and he just melts. Clear, I mean, we were talking about this. If he's involved, it's going to be a rough time, and it absolutely has been. Teddy thrown around like a ragdoll in the river, and now FearX going to use this Baron to push up. Not exactly the best feeling for the Crocodile, but should be able to get a fair bit of it back. As now FearX push another wave into this inner turret, and there is another paranoia. Can actually turn around this Baron power play as the shockwave is decent, but still their health bars are going down so low. Willa looks immortal as Rascal tries to get into the backline, but the flash out from Henna is massive. The equalizer is too, and Henna's going to be able to grab Yahoo. Teddy skates his way out of there, and they at least managed to limp away. The 1-for-1 though, mid laner for mid laner is the result.
Yeah, so it looked like a good initial play from DRX. The critical thing is that the Rumble wasn't there in time for the immediate play, but once he gets that, once the equalizer comes down, you see the impact. That being said, and they opt to go for the Tristana instead.
We'll see. Closer, of course, does have that rocket jump available. Here's Nature's Grasp as Willa just taking matters into his own hands. Oh, Yahoo! Oh, he just walks all the way up. The equalizer's not really what you want to see. The Paranoia nothing, a 4-man Magnet Storm, and everyone's evaporating. Teddy Teddy tries to get it done, but it does not work. That is a clean ace, and that is FearX marching up the bottom lane to destroy a Nexus.
It's an absolute slaughter. The equalizer so good from Clear, but the follow-up is phenomenal as well. We were talking about the lack of summoners for the carries. Could DRX find an angle? They're not even given an opportunity to look for one.
And I just love that we get to see Clear finally demonstrate what he was when he was playing for this organization that they're crushing right now. The Nexus is going to go down, and I imagine that your POG vote is in. Oh, welcome to the LCK Clear. Will finally come in.
Yeah, I think
I guess
the Chef is a really great pick here because it gives you that top lane pressure that you were definitely concerned about. If DRX had complete pressure on their mid and top, they could really run losing his, especially since Pleta does have that Hex Flash available.
Now Willer is going to spot Sponge. Counter-Strike does come on through there as Sponge is going to have to flash. Immediately goes back in though as Twisted Advance going to get Pleta amongst it. He's lit on fire immediately, and there's the flash over First Blood. Goes to Closer as he just turns up. It is a kill for Teddy, but I don't know whether we're typing worth in all chat here on the DRX side of things just yet.
Substantially behind in farm. This is definitely the start that FearX wanted for their composition.
Absolutely. Moving just over a 1,000 gold.
Mosquito in these matchups, constantly harassing, and Rascal's just trying to hit you with the fly spotter.
All right, well, Pleta is going to go aggressive. Execute is really dead.
Very
like, Omega dead.
Only dead.
All of the dead.
You know, not sure what the game plan was there because initially...
CC.
Yeah.
That would be our expert advice. Okay, Sponge is coming in. There's the Nature's Grasp from Pleta. Looking for Henna here. He's got a cleanse, but it's just not going to work. But maybe it's baited them in. The Magnet Storm's fantastic, and Willer is in position. Pleta just punished, went way too far.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can... I'm trying to get this secured.
Yep, should be able to do it as well. His Closure is going to move in. That's going to help them out. And they did see that there was a Karma on the way.
Where he gets us on a stack, so...
Oh no.
Not for the best. Oh.
Yeah, Counter-Strike does come on down there as Yehu is taking the Jax for a walk, pushes him underneath the turret here as Execute now going to take the rest of the damage. They will be able to transition back and just take this out of turret down as there is a charm. Destiny has come down as well as he moves into the mid lane. That is a nice little dragon to come out from Teddy. 2/3 health. Willa will be able to possess Shelly, and she will be the demolition crew, but now they die. Oh! In the 5-man Magnet Storm, and the stun is just as good! FearX, how are you finding these team fights in back-to-back games? And DRX, they're just all of a sudden on the floor!
A monstrous engage there. You know, I think the mistake from DRX...
Come on down as Willa. Just happy to tank this one up. There is the Destiny, so full information is going to be there. Chains of Corruption comes down as Mom. She gets a bit mad, but she kind of misses, and now Closer, he has to go golden, now dealing with 3 members. Teddy should be able to lock this one down, and it's Sponge that does collect the kill in the end. Now Rascal trying to get more.
You see both top laners moving over, and actually Clear's just soloing the dragon.
Yeah, he's probably going to be able to take it as well, and they had vision, they had a ward. Yeah, I guess, you know, ability haste or something like that. As, all right, 50% on this Baron's health bar. Sponge looking to make his way in there as Execute. Doesn't find too much, just kind of crashes down over the top of Pleta. Mum doesn't find too much as now Closer just jumps in and assassinates the Xin Zhao. And now Destiny to try and finish this one off. Teddy takes an Orb of Deception as Closer is going to help out, but that Counter-Strike just fantastic as Willa dives his way in. Teddy is assassinated on the backline as well. And once again, FearX just wiped the floor with them. These team fights have been so good.
It's been an absolute masterclass in how to team fight from FearX this series. The patience, backing off, resetting, reevaluating, and then Closer finds a beautiful angle and they're able to follow through. So hyped to see the level of play this team's demonstrating.
Yeah, right.
You know, when the playoff hopes are on the lines, they're looking to win.
DRX.
Oh, that's true.
And Long Games, as Charm is going to go wide, Orb of Deception as well, as everything else also just doesn't really do too much.
Yeah, look at the
Destiny hits, though.
Players applying pressure on the side, and sure, the Ahri ult is down.
Yep, he is going to get ulted there, so Clear is now going to have to try and fight.
And damage!
He's just going to die because he has 6 items. And now the layering of CC and the explosion there. Oh! The 3-man once again as Execute. Yes, we know you are going to get the POG for this game. It's a double kill for Willer off the back end of that engage. And every time there is fighting, FearX are winning this series. It's just beautiful to watch. Now Clear is just throwing these cards. They're even more deadly than they were the last time we watched. And on the fountain is Rascal, and he's going to wait here until his Nexus blows up. And Clear, I think he might wait for one of his teammates to be in the picture. But this game is over, ladies and gentlemen, and FearX are taking one extra step to
mid-jungle. If they aren't, we could see not only the game start to fall behind, but like not being able to pick up stacks on the Kindred, which would really hurt. So definitely a game plan. Low is the mark. It is on the Corki. This could be huge.
Oh god, well Gideon is here to try and protect. There's the Q connecting on a BDD, flashes over the wall, and they pick up first blood. Now Pyoshik is trying to get in here and save his mid laner as BDD burns down. And now the flash on top of the Kindred. He is going to be able to get over there. Needed to avoid that Q, but he's not going to be able to. And that is going to be a double for the Lee Sin.
Huge reward there. Oh, more.
Yeah, that's a flash on the bottom side of the map as Beryl is going to... Ridiculous! Oh my, he's a sniper.
Yeah.
Okay, Envy coming on over. Beryl is going to almost share the snare, but does not. Coming on in. That's actually 2 teleports as Polu's going to come in first. Now Karis turns up and he's got a package to deliver to Pyoshik as the all-out does come in. A perfect gets himself to safety and is going to be able to help kill the Tahm Kench. That's one going over to Pyoshik as the Q connects onto the Cassante, but that is not going to do it. Deft also teleported towards that top lane. There are just teleports all over the place here. And so now everyone's transitioned to the top lane. We've got full-on team fights at 11.5 minutes.
It's so rare.
Package delivered to BDD. BDD is now going to flash over the wall, but Gideon's going to follow him immediately. Nice little sidestep, but he's still dead. Now Beryl wants to continue this fight and then immediately decides against it. And
earlier play.
Beryl did have to use his hook defensively, but has somewhat reset its cooldown. It looks like they are still looking for a fight. Valkyrie out there from Karis as there's a flash forward. Gideon getting on top of Beryl, but he's not necessarily a priority as the 3 knockups do come in, and now Perfect just launches himself into the backline. Mum gets angry. Gideon is just dead. It's a kill for the world champion Kindred player. And Polu, he's the next one on the menu. It's Deft that's going to barbecue him. A triple kill. Are you kidding me? Make it a quadra. It's a pentakill for Pyoshik at 14 minutes. Every time. Don't you worry. As KT are going to give up on the Rift Herald. Looks like they're not too worried about that one as Beryl is going to get shielded up. All right, Morgan looking for that opportunity as they just blow him up. Yeah, I don't know what the real plan was, but they're going to look for a fight. Perfect. He goes in. The Devourer is going to be there from Polu, but Gideon, he doesn't have that option. The flashes over the wall, and it's a massacre once again for KT. Perfect just throwing them around like ragdolls. There is the Kindred going down, so Morgan gets himself a huge shutdown, but that is the end of the good news.
I would love to... What?
Pyoshik is level 11.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like 11 stacks of views. I was like, how?
No, you really don't. Thankfully, we're not quite up to that level of ridiculousness as Envy is, going to have to get devoured. I thought that it was off cooldown, and we were right. So that is going to be ult for ult, traded in.
You can see a record on the...
Yeah, it's 18 minutes, and this is a smolder comp. The hook is max range. He's dead, and I don't know whether they're going to be able to really get too much more, but it was a great hook, Beryl. Really nicely done there. Well, it's the accuracy on it anyway.
Yeah, maybe the play...
Doing damage to all of these players. You really need Envy to start spamming Q over and over again. As Morgan in the brush as KT look for another engage. They're engaging onto Polu because he can't devour himself. And my god, Envy just loses half of his health bar once again. Bro now split onto 2 fronts as now Gideon not going to get stunned up. There's the package. It's going to be delivered, but it looks like it might have been exactly what KT ordered. And now Polu's going to have to flash to get himself out of the way. They are in the mist, but I think they're not too worried about it as Mom gets mad once again. And Deft is just spitting fire all over the bros. Gets over the wall, and yes, Morgan, unfortunately, is going to be turned into a handbag, and once again, KT roll over the top.
You know, Deft's flash just came up like 5 seconds ago. If it was a little bit
bottom side of the map, he's going to try his best to
know how you contest it.
At least get some money. 242 stacks here for Deft. And it's only going to get worse from here for the bros. They watch. They could see that the Baron was indeed very close to dead, and now it is dead. With Smolder and Kindred, working. It's fine. You know, they're just agreeable, and it's an okay situation. There's another hook. This time it might work out for Beryl as he does get a nice double knockup. Mom gets mad, and now Perfect Perfect dives in, looking for an opportunity here as he's basically just taking no damage. Polu's then going to get flapped on, and KT, they should be able to break open the base off the back of this Baron buff. My God! It's like a poke composition, but it's not that long range, but it works because they can't really answer back because they don't take damage and they do way too much of it. Although, Perfect is going down relatively low. The flash over the top from Pyosik, that was pretty cute, but the hook is not going to land there from Beryl. And they are going to be able to just turn around, take down these inhibitors. KT not messing around. Well, I mean, they were a little bit, but it's been messing around to a real good answer in this game, as they'll take down the first Nexus turret. Second one is sure to follow. And this snowball just rolled way too quickly. And I think it goes back to what you said at the very beginning of the game, Orcs. And that was that they flipped the coin and it landed heads when it came to that first mark. And if that isn't the most KT thing in the universe, then I don't know what is. This is also just a massacre, guys. The Nexus is just going to fall down, and KT will up.
It's as much pressure as in the previous game. It's not up against a Karma Kindred. A Karma... Would you die for a cannon minion?
Well, he might have to, as he is actually going to be able to pick up. There's the double knock-up. The Q's going to connect. First blood goes over to Deft. And now Polu is just underneath this turret with not a lot of places to go. Pyosik should be able to get out of there as Deft casually tanks up a turret shot. And Envy is back in the lane.
What a knock-up there from Beryl, you know.
Pyosik going to be able to secure his Raptor camp as well. Red buff being utilized to slow down Gideon a little bit, but you can see the Karma does have a decent amount of priority, as now Deft is in the top lane. And Morgan is going to get flashed on his former teammate. They went to the quarterfinals of Worlds together, and now Deft is going to shoot him in the back. Oh, KT move up to 2-0.
How are you supposed to...
Yeah, I'd say that is certainly a dragon that you're going to be okay with. It does take a fair bit of killing here, but you can see that KT do have all the time in the world.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Again, right? Because he was just punished.
It's hard to say.
I feel like this wait, it's about to crash. Oh, okay, never mind. There's the third Q. As Morgan actually just going to be able to jump up and down a little bit here as Pyosik just comes on in, kicks him back. There's the flash, and there is the kill. And that was just all too easy. Reminded me of what Peanut did. Yeah.
Kick, flash, Q. Not much you can do from that position. Yep, we're going to end up in a looking for a return.
Yeah, if at first you succeed, just do it again, I guess. As Pyosik, not going to quite find that one, but I think Morgan is still in a heck of a lot of trouble. That Q misses as well, though, as now Gideon dives in. Perfect, able to get himself out of the way. There's, the kill onto the Cassante, and now Pyosik all by himself against the Rel and the Aatrox. He's able to safeguard to that ward, but it's a nice little knock-up. Gideon, he wants even more. As Pyosik down to 100, there's the flash forward, but the kill does go back over to the Lee Sin. There's a knock-up on Apollo, but it's a nice buffer on the dredge line here on the bottom side of the map as BDD, he's just hitting the turret.
Yeah, the trade back comes through, but they gave 2 kills over to Morgan, so pretty big payoff for that. And
oh, okay, Bella's breath coming out here as there's the Ornhorn. Beryl not going to be able to throw that one back as Polu's burning. Dawning Shadow, he's going to lock down that kill as now even the teleport's getting amongst it, and Envy not going to be able to finish off Beryl here. This guy tanks, man. He's pretty good at it.
But also, I feel like if you have that exact same play with any other AD carry in the game, as Zeri, you know, you would have just killed Beryl. Well, I mean, I guess that's what you're arguing, but
well, Karis, he's in a bit of trouble here as well as Pyosik he's got down to about 50, but now the cavalry turns up almost literally here as the crash down over the wall, and Pyosik, he's down to 1 health, and he is really dead. Perfect not able to come on over and help out. This is chaos. This is these rockets. Karis was definitely dead, but I think that Pyosik dies in almost every one of those scenarios, and Perfect might be dying right here. It's a Cloud Soul? Oh, baby. I can't get too distracted, though, as the all-out does come in, and Perfect just desperately trying to keep himself alive. Crash down is going to straight up miss. That Q is also going to go wide now as well as Perfect. I think he's just going to go down. There it goes. Magnet Storm going to be in.
It's also rough because the Ornn gets extra stats from giving people ornaments, so he can end up hurting from that.
Yeah. As Pyosik, speaking of hurting, he's hurting Polu for the moment. He's actually going to hit the wall, and now the Aftershock is down. He is very squishy. That's why he's not getting back into this fight, as there's the Magnet Storm. Deft preemptively flashes to get himself out of the way, and now BDD has turned up. He's going to slow down. The Dawning Shadow gets so much value, is now Perfect. Just pulls Gideon back in, and now they're just in the melting pot. Morgan can only look on in horror as the rest of his teammates melt.
And for 2 kills get picked up from BDD, this Corki is quickly getting out of control. Deft as well on 5 kills so far. Bro upped into the fight, but they aren't able to finish through. Things starting to quickly get out of control. Not as extreme as last game. You know, we're past 14 minutes. There's been no pentakills, so quite tame in comparison to game 1.
It's just not very much action, unfortunately. I hope you guys are still entertained. We're doing our best here. Is now Deft 1v2, or is it a 2v2? No, it's not. He's just really dead. And Koshik going to get a kickback as now Morgan is in trouble. BDD collects the kill. It's a disaster for Bro, but now they're trying to turn it around. Gideon finds the Shattering Strike onto the Corki. Crash down as well. His good layering of CC, but he breaks the chains. And now Koshik gets on over to try and deal. The Dragon is going to come down, but BDD is slowed and gets over the wall with the Valkyrie. He's fine.
Oh man, they were so close. And they're just grabbing the package and they're just TPing back in and they're sending it. This is just all action all the time.
I love it. As that big one actually doing a whole lot of work. I don't know about that one, Beryl, but the package is going to be delivered nonetheless. And that is so much value. What the heck? BDD was missing so many. He gets an item and he's like, nah, I have a laser scope now.
You know, you've heard of the ball.
We're watching it. There is nothing else that this series could have been.
This is peak League of Legends.
Yeah.
Honestly, if every series was like this,
we would be. He's still taking flashes. He's also able to get into the Rift Herald, and we'll be able to take that turret down. Morgan that carries them through. He's got 2 items now on this Aatrox, and he's now probably dead. He gets so much of his health back. That's a cute little kick, but it's not going to stop this Aatrox, who just takes down the Lee Sin. Yeah, this is what we were talking about. That control ward now wrapping around once again.
You know, these rockets would do a lot more damage if they were hitting.
Yeah. And as long as Beryl is standing in front, it's going to be really hard for Morgan to get too much done. As he does walk up, he can engage from a really long distance. There's the package. They're looking for Karis. He's not on top of it as there's the flash over from Morgan. He's looking for the Corki, but the fight is happening to the south as well. The Corki goes down, and now KT, they've only got a little while longer before this gigantic world-ending Aatrox gets into the back line. The exhaust is fantastic, though, and he's kicked out of the fight. The Rel does go down as well, but Morgan is still going. He's still looking for more. Perfect gets into the back line and grabs the Smolder. But Deft is the last man standing alongside a very low health Beryl, and Bro are going to deny the soul.
They managed to deny it, but oh wait, could Katie still look for something? Morgan's actually healing up a little bit.
Oh, Beryl is definitely going in, right? Oh, he's going in, right? Look at these health bars. This is doable.
He's got TP. Wait, he's staying!
He's staying. This is doable.
There's no way, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, okay. Well, we'll see whether they can actually win the fight afterwards. I really thought that rock was going to steal it away. Teleport's coming in. There's the flash forward from Beryl. Karis, I think he's going to be the sacrificial karma, going to be taken down there. That's another kill going over to the Corki.
You know what? You said a couple of minutes ago how it needed to be Lord Morgan. I think KT could just wait for that.
Yep, Perfect and Beryl hanging out together. They're pretty tanky, but they have been caught out of position. Beryl as well is going to look for the round, gets the knockup onto 2 as now Polo's taking so much damage. Koshik gets in there, but he's going to be eaten by a dragon, and Mom now comes down from the sky. Perfect is dead. It's a double for Envy, and I don't know what they thought was going to happen. That wasn't exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't end up getting on top of the back line. Yes, they send the Ornult in, but they can't really do anything.
Maybe it's not even going to be a problem, even if Deft makes it to level 18.
There does become a point where Smolder has enough stacks that he just one-shots you from full HP with the execute.
Yeah,
it's a long way away.
It's like 6,000, 3,500 or something.
Yeah,
like
definitely a lot of stacks. Not sure we'll reach that point, but you do have to be aware it could happen. And now flank coming in.
Yeah.
Lustig looking for an angle.
Yeah, Morgan will get on in here as Beryl dives forward as well. There's the kick onto the Smolder, but he flashes to immediately get himself out. The Ornn is just dead. That rocket finds Envy, but it does not matter. He picks up the double kill, and now Mom comes down once again. Perfect is going to be ripped to shreds, and that is a triple. He's the only one getting kills for the rest of this game, guys. That is just how this Smolder is going to work.
He is just massacring. And one of the things as well, with this Aatrox, when they dive in, it gives so much value to Morgan in these fights. You know, we always talk about Bro getting the upsets late in the season. They are looking at upsetting in this game right now. They should.
That's going to be high value as well. Still needs level 16 before he can upgrade Perfect's Jack shows. But this is the 2-man Baron happening. KT, not a lot of opportunities here. As now they are going to find out that this is basically gone. It is just going to be taken down. Not many opportunities, and there it goes. So KT have to just watch as it goes through. Good Bellows Breath there to eat the CC, but perfect! He can't do it! He is going to go all out, but he's just all out of the game for at least the next 50 seconds. Now, but he's going to be the only one, so they have to give up this inhibitor.
And actually, they can just rotate. There's a top wave being pushed in by Morgan. They could just go and grab this and take this top tier 2, but you know what I'm saying, that BDD's not even there.
Yeah, and they're looking to just end this. This Nexus turret is already going to go down. The Ram comes in, though, as now Pyoshik looks for Karis. Envy could be in trouble as the rockets are hitting BDD. Can he stay alive is the question. Envy, though, he is going to be able to, and it's a double, and I think it's going to be more of these rockets. They need to land, and he's not going to be able to. Finally, he hits one, and now he's looking for Envy. Another auto is all they need, and Deft gets the kill on the Dragon. Gideon's gonna go down the game, ladies and gentlemen. It continues.
It's still going with this one up in a second.
I think perhaps a different hill is what you'd want to die on, would be my recommendation, as Morgan takes a lot of damage. This is like my professional ARAMist.
It's also what Pyoshik probably learned from the region of ARAMs, NA.
Yeah. NA RAM.
Oh.
All right, there's a crash down from Gideon, but it's a little bit half-hearted. This isn't, though, as Beryl throws the ram in. There's the kickback. It's on the Karma this time, though, and Mom comes down. This is getting very scary. The Magnastorm is a lot of value as GAs are starting to pop left, right, and center. Karis is out of the fight, but I think Envy's still in it, and that is the scariest part. Perfect is now looking to get on top of it. There it is! And KT, I think they've saved it. I think they've done it. And for some reason, they're going to win this game.
Good luck trying to break that one down.
Unless
a hectic
the back door. No.
Wait, they're not ending?
Built Azonias as well.
God.
If you missed that. Polu's looking for a flank.
Wait,
there's a big flanking teleport from Morgan as well.
They don't see him.
Okay, now BDD could be in so much trouble. He's zooming in, but Deft is going to actually survive. The package just delivered. He's down to his GA, and now they're just trying to keep them out of the way of this fight. They are backing so far, but the Aatrox is going to fall Dawning Shadow to keep them alive. And I think KT, they might have just done it again.
How have they managed to pull this off on repeat? Morgan going with the flanks of all flanks. Envy doing more than 10,000 damage in that fight. And they win. They managed to outscale the Smolder somehow.
Okay, Orcs, I've had enough of this game. Get me out. It's the most kills of the split so far. And it's just a clean 2-0. Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. It's East versus West, right? KT, we're always going to win this one. Taking down the Nexus here. As, bro, man, they came so close.
These were some of the best highlights from all of the LCK Spring matchups of the day. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.